Fatuma said them they go, Massa go by here.
88.5.
Alice, throw away your malice. You are for member.
Tamales.
Hey, get you from get sorry. So my people, I tell you, don't worry.
If you know what I know, you know, I know, you know.
88.5.
Yeah, I know, you know, I know, you know.
I said that 88.5.
You know, I know, you know, I know, you know.
That 88.5.
Yeah, I know, you know, I know, you know.
88.5.
Yeah, babe. Double A dot 3 plus 2. We can double think that means me plus you. Cause I'm looking for a queen on the KIN King. We up early morning plus on your late night swing. We live on your radio in a big thing.
From the radio service of Royal Multimedia Business Group, good morning and welcome to the morning edition of King's News Broom, 45 minutes of the most compelling news from Liberia and other parts of the world. Stories topping the news this morning ahead of Chief Justice Shannon Your departure. Circuit courts across the country have ended legal business for February terms of court to reopen on May 12, 2025, consistent with Chapter 3, Section 3.8 of the Judiciary Law of Liberia. Former Vice President Joel Howard Taylor Blas Bwaka-Kun administration says she has been deprived of a benefit as a former vice president. Ministry of Transport, in collaboration with the Liberia National Police and the Liberia Revenue Authority, to enforce registration and insurance compliance inspection exercise in Monrovia and its environment. And away from Liberia, South African Communist Party SACP criticizes Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky's state visit to South Africa. The headlines, the voices of the newsmaker, the news bulletin, and the development are all packaged in this Monday morning edition of King's News Broom. But a very short break to be back with the voices of the news bulletin. Thanks so much for rejoining us on the news program. The circuit court across the country have ended legal business for February terms of court to reopen on May 12, 2025, consistent with Chapter 3, Section 3.8 of the Judiciary Law of Liberia. This followed the end of 42 days of juror sitting on Wednesday, April 2, 2025 for February terms. The closure means the court will now operate in chamber session and can only dispose matter on motion and not full litigation has provided by law. But the Sixth Judiciary Circuit Court, known as a Civil Law Court, and all specialized courts, according to judiciary correspondent, are excluded from February 10 closure. The February 10 conclusion will witness Chief Justice Shannon Your releasing her legal assignment for May and June terms for circuit court judges in a couple of days, as she inching closer to her departure from judiciary on June 26, 2025. The priest of the High Court is on record of announcing her legal assignment for judges months in advance before the opening of a new term consistent with Chapter 3, Section 3.8 of the Judiciary Law of Liberia. Ahead of her departure from the Supreme Court, our judiciary correspondent said that the May and June assignment could likely be just a year of final legal duty for judges as she inching closer to a retirement on June 26, 2025. Chief Justice Yor has since announced her pending departure as head of the judiciary when she reaches the retirement age of 70 on June 26, 2025, consistent with Article 72B of the 1986 Constitution of Liberia. Former Vice President Joel Howard Taylor has accused the Barker administration of depriving her of her benefit as a former vice president or official of the state. Making the disclosure on Spoon Talk on Sunday, former Vice President Taylor said she has made efforts by writing relevant government authorities to inform them about her rightful benefits, but claimed that there has been no response to address her situation. She also alleged that the government has provided her with a vehicle. She also alleged that the government has not provided her with a vehicle after she turned over the one she was using as vice president to current vice president during the inauguration. The former vice president also revealed that after the inauguration, the transitional team failed to provide a vehicle to take her home as part of the transitional process, a situation she said led to her to use a private vehicle after waiting for over 45 minutes. However, she is urging the government to do what is necessary by making available all her benefits, including a vehicle, security, and financial entitlement. In a related development, the former Liberian vice president criticized the Unity Party government for failing to live up to its campaign promises. She highlighted the increase of illicit drugs in the country and the government's alleged failures to adequately address the economic challenges facing the country and its people. Nigerian ambassador accredited Nia Monrovia has paid an official visit to the municipal borough of Newtown in an effort to familiarize herself with the activities and challenges residents are faced with. Speaking during a program welcoming her in the borough, Ambassador Ramant Mohammed thanked the people of Newtown for giving her the opportunity to explore the development and challenges across their communities. She said Liberia and Nigeria consider each other traditional partners in regional, continental, and other international affairs, especially on the issues that affect the Black race, democracy, and peace. Speaking earlier, the governor of the borough of Newtown, Robert Tiet, presented a 3-year development plan to Ambassador Mohammed for assistance. According to Governor Tiet, the borough is challenged and lacks logistics in the collection of the disposal of garbage. He also pointed out challenges residents go through due to flooding during the rainy season. During the welcoming ceremony, Ambassador Mohammed was honored, gowned, and given the name Deconti by the women of the borough of Newtown. The Alternative National Congress is expected to host its first homecoming day since the 2023 presidential and legislative election. The grand homecoming date for ANC members will be held in Monrovia on Tuesday. A spokesperson of the ANC, Desmond Nimland, disclosed the gathering is intended to bring the largest gathering of partisans together since the end of the 2023 presidential and legislative election in Liberia. Nimland pointed out that the program will provide the springboard for putting ANC members in gear for the readiness for the political season leading to the 2029 presidential and legislative election. He at the same time called on members of the ANC who might have left the party during the 2023 presidential and legislative elections to form part of the homecoming day. According to him, the homecoming day will be characterized by speeches of comments to the party from senior members, and a special message will be delivered for members in years ahead to the 2029 presidential and legislative election. Montserrat County District 8 Representative Prince Stolz said he personally invested over $16,000 United States dollars to purchase a coaster bus for the district and spent about $4.5 million Liberian dollars for scholarship for 900 students. Speaking over the weekend when he delivered his annual legislative report, Representative Stolz noted that the huge investment made by him is intended to drive development initiatives and improve the lives of residents of the district. According to him, he will also be constructing a police depot in the Suniwen community purposely to curb the abuse of drugs by youth, adding that he is presently constructing a vocational training college to offer vocational skills for youth and women in the district. Toulouse also informed the resident about the construction of a town hall in Jalatan and Capitol Hill to be used for conferences, meetings, and social gatherings. He also vowed to give a facelift to the Soniwen and Slipway clinics that will result in transforming the two health centers to 24/7 service. The Ministry of Transport, in collaboration with the Liberia National Police and the Liberia Revenue Authority, has launched a vehicle registration and insurance compliance enforcement inspection exercise in Monrovia and its environment. Speaking during the launching ceremony in Monrovia on Friday, Transport Minister Salif Tala said the initiative aimed at ensuring vehicle owners adhere to the vehicle and traffic laws of Liberia and the Transport Ministry Insurance Act. According to him, the ongoing exercise will enable the government to raise sufficient revenue and enhance the safety of citizens. Mr. Tyler further stated that the initiative will also be launched in other parts of the country in the coming days. He also urged the Liberia National Police and the Ministry Inspector to exercise professionalism while implementing their duties. The contract director of Medical Liberia, Anthony Yavala Powell, has called on key government institutions to increase budgetary allocation aimed at combating the growing waves of sexual and gender-based violence in the country. Madam Powell noted that while Liberia has established policy and frameworks to address SGBVs, the implementation of these measures remains hindered by insufficient budgetary support. She emphasized that without increased funding for institutions tasked with enforcing SGBV laws and policy, meaningful progress cannot be achieved. Highlighting the urgent need for intervention, Powell stressed that inadequate funding undermines efforts to tackle SGBV, adding that reducing expenditures on salaries and benefits will free up resources for critical programs aimed at addressing public health and societal threats. According to the UN Women 2023 SGBV report, Liberia recorded 3,204 cases of sexual and gender-based violence, with women and girls disproportionately affected, while rape accounted for nearly 63% of these reported cases, which underscores the urgency of developing innovative measures such as victim rehabilitation programs and widespread anti-SGBV awareness campaigns. She warned that without increased support, women across Liberia will continue to face severe challenges due to their heightening vulnerability to gender-based violence. Anthony Powell is calling on the Liberian government to allocate additional funding to SGBV programs, ensuring that resources are directed to institutions like the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, Liberia National Police, and the civil society organization. She made an appeal during a dialogue organized by the Peace Community Development Foundation in Monrovia. The government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Justice, is expected to launch an anti-mob justice campaign across the country on April 8. The campaign is aimed to curtail numbers of mob violence and ensure that citizens live in peace and harmony. At Mika press briefing, Deputy Information Minister Daniel Sano stressed that the decision by the ministry is as a result of increase in mob violence across the country. At the same time, he disclosed that the Ministry of Lands, Mines and Energy has commenced verification of licenses to mining companies to avoid illicit mining in the country. According to him, some miners are involved into illegal activities, stressing that the initiative will help prevent companies from illicit mining. The Central Bank of Liberia has vowed to keep inflation within its targeted areas aimed at supporting growth in the short to medium term liquidation. The initiative is in collaboration of CBL Liquidated Management and Monetary Fiscal Department to ensure economic stability and transparency in Liberia. In a release dated April 4th, Governor Hiram Samoa highlighted insight into current fiscal policy, monetary strategies, and challenges affecting Liberia's economic stability. Governor Samoan added that Liberia GDP is estimated at 4.8% in 2024, with a projection of 5.6% in 2025. In the release, the CBR boss indicated that the growth in both years were largely driven by agriculture, forestry in primary sector, with inflation remaining at single digit. The release quoted the House of Representatives Chair on Banking and Currency, Anthony Williams, lauded CBR leadership and underscores the importance of both the CBR and the House of Legislature collaboration in advancing Liberian economic development. The government of Liberia, through the National Port Authority, has begun the renovation of the Port of Greenville. The move by the government is part of its broader commitment to modernizing port infrastructure development across Liberia. The renovation, which began on Thursday, April 3rd, is focused on upgrading 6 key infrastructure facilities and the rehabilitation of roads leading from the port entrance to the pier. This initiative, according to NPA release, is a significant steps towards ensuring improved operational standards and strengthening the port capacity to accommodate increased marine activities. The release added that the ongoing project aligned with the NPA Board of Directors resolution and its commitment to the development of port infrastructure across the country. And in foreign news, South African Communist Party SACP said it chronically opposed the South African government's decision to invite Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky for a state visit, calling it illegal. The SACP rejects the ill-considered decision to invite Vladimir Zelensky to South Africa. This move must be reversed without delay, SACP spokesperson Alex Mashilot said. Speaking at a media briefing on Sunday, Mashida said the invitation to Zelensky should be withdrawn while there's still time. Zelensky is expected to visit the country next week for a state visit. Mashida also claimed that Zelensky's term as president of Ukraine has expired and that no new election has been held in Ukraine, unlike in Russia, making his status illegitimate. He remains a puppet of the US-led imperialism bloc, serving the interests of the NATO political, economic, and ideological and war machineries, Mashilo said. His invitation has the effect of placing our country on the wrong side of history in a global clash struggle. Thanks so much for rejoining us on the news program. Today's development now, the Ministry of Transport, in collaboration with the Liberia National Police and the Liberia Revenue Authority, has launched a vehicle registration and insurance compliance enforcement inspection exercise in Monrovia and its environment. Speaking during the launching ceremony in Monrovia, Transport Minister Salif Talib said the initiative aimed at ensuring vehicle owners adhere to the Vehicle and Traffic Laws of Liberia and the Transport Ministry Insurance Act.
The Ministry of Mines and Energy shut down.
We've gathered here this morning again to carry on our duty. And our duty is to ensure compliance. We will be inspecting throughout the country vehicles, registration, insurance, eligibility, driver license, and we are encouraging citizens to have fire extinguishers in their vehicles. Inspectors, police, be professional in your duty. Treat our citizens with the utmost respect, and also get the respect you need by giving that respect. We are one government, we are one people, we have one objective. And the primary objective today is to enforce compliance with the vehicle and traffic laws, and compliance with the third-party Transport Ministry Insurance Act. This day, at this moment, Ministry of Transport team, along with the Labrador National Police, LRA, and the government, I would like to launch officially this inspection exercise. It is launched. Thank you.
His Transport Minister, Salif Rav Talader, speaking during the launch of the Transport Ministry Insurance Policy. Former Vice President Joel Howard Taylor has accused the Bouaka administration of depriving her of benefits as a former official of the state. Making the disclosure on Spoon Talk on Sunday, former VP Taylor says she has made efforts by writing to relevant government authorities to inform them about her rightful benefits, but claimed that there has been no response to address her situation.
There are benefits in terms of salary. There are benefits in terms of vehicles that I haven't gotten. There are benefits in terms of some staffing that should be allocated to me to make my life easier, because that is the way the law is written. That is still an issue. I've written everybody, the speaker, the president pro tempore. I've written the president. I've written the minister of state. I've written the minister of finance, and I've written recently. I wrote the minister of justice about the issue, raising the fact that there are benefits being paid at the Supreme Court level. You know, the former justices are getting half of the pay of the Supreme Court justices, and they have their vehicles and their benefits of staffers. I'm still not yet getting that. I left the inauguration and I was stuck on the floor. When I walked out of the inauguration, there was not one vehicle left to take me home. So I went and sat under a tree in front of the mansion. I waited almost 45 minutes before a private vehicle could come and pick me up. And that's the same situation today. I ride my private vehicle. I haven't been giving a vehicle for security. By the time I got outside to go home, the entire convoy had been shifted to the current vice president. There was not one vehicle left to take me home.
In a related development, the former Liberian vice president criticized the Unity Party government for failing to live up to its campaign promises. She highlighted the increase of illicit drugs in the country and the government alleged failures to adequately address the economic challenges facing the country and its people.
I realize sometimes when we all want to get elected, we talk about it a lot. It's not as easy to fix. It's not as easy to bring to pass. It's not as easy when you make all of those promises. But the Unity Party came to power based on a story that they spun, that they were going to rescue the nation and that things would have been better. 18 months later, we are where we are. Where is the rescue train? I believe things have slipped off the bandwagon a little bit. And I hope that my comments tonight is not going to anger people, but I will say what I have to say, being a part of government for such a long time.
She's the former Liberian vice president, Madam Joel Howard Taylor. They're speaking when she's appeared on Spoon Talk on last evening. To this development, Montserrat County District 8 Representative Prince Tolu said he personally invested over 16,000 United States dollars to purchase a coaster bus for the district and spent about 4.5 million Liberian dollars for scholarship for 900 students. Speaking over the weekend when he delivered his annual legislative report, Representative Tolu noted that the huge investment made by him is intended to drive development initiative and improve the lives of residents of the district.
This year marked a milestone in our journey towards sustainable development and growth.
We embark on ambitious infrastructure projects that have reshaped the landscape of our community, providing not just physical structure, but beacon of hope and progress. The ongoing construction of the Johnstown Morgantown Home Event Center stands as a symbol of our communal aspiration. Once completed, will serve as a vibrant hub for cultural, social, and economic activities. The construction of the stairway of Crown Hill, connecting stairway community, the ongoing temporary district feeder center, the pavement of Susan Brooks Road, the minor renovation of Soliman Public Health Center, and soon the break ground for a police station in the Soliman community. We acquired an office space with the government GSA at the old Methodist Children's Hospital. The renovation and reactivation of volunteers in the Warwick community, Benson Street, McDonald Street. We've done a free ride agreement along with the landowner, any law firm, and then for water and sewer, so we can reactivate the entire water meter that will supply the entire environment. We'll be building a Morgantown hall, reconstructing the basketball court, putting on the basketball court, seeing capacity. We have our own conference meeting to empower the community to raise money. We'll also be adding a car wash. We have also made significant strides in revitalizing the Solomon Public Clinic and Civil Public Clinic. We spent a whopping $16,000 United States to procure an ambulance for our district. In the realm of education, 900 students benefited from our scholarship. This year, we will allocate $1.5 billion for the stairway that was between prior and Broom. My people from America was told we sent $90,000 in US dollars, $90,000 in cash, and then another $100,000 in two groups in addition to okay, also respect. We procure one bus valued at $16,000 US dollars for district number 8. That year on, the government said 2 days. They said it's $3,000 US dollars. 2024, our 900 plus students, the total money for all that scholarship is valued at $4.5 billion liberty. We spent $1,300,000 $700,000. Then we get administrative costs to the district development council to go around the water way. I as a lawmaker I spent $40,203 and $7,914 US dollars.
His Most Rather County District 8 Representative Prince Tolu, they're speaking when he delivered his legislative report to his constituent over the weekend. Nigerian ambassador accredited Nia Monrovia has paid an official visit to the municipal borough of Nikutan in an effort to familiarize herself with the activities and challenges residents are faced with. Speaking during the program welcoming her in the borough, Ambassador Ramat Mohammed thanked the people of Nikutan for giving her the opportunity to explore the development and challenges across their communities.
I would like to thank you for your kind invitation to this afternoon's meeting and the opportunity to explore Broomtown under your guidance. And I find it an honor to experience firsthand the remarkable developments and the initiatives that you are championing. Nigeria and Liberia have enjoyed very cordial and mutual relations since the establishment of our diplomatic relations more than 60 years ago. Both countries consider each other as strategic partners in regional and global affairs and have enjoyed diplomatic relations across economic, political, social, cultural, consular, and mostly in the area of peace and security. Nigeria was instrumental to ending the 2 civil wars in Nigeria. The fact that Nigerians are warmly welcomed in Liberia also attests to our brotherly relations. On this note, I want to commend my brothers and sisters in Liberia for being law-abiding and enjoy them to continue to keep this up. And I thank you so much for your hospitality and for taking the time to share the city's vision and possible and progress with us. I look forward to more engagement and insightful visits. I thank you so much for the quoting, and I shall bear it proudly. Thank you.
Also speaking, the governor of the Borough of Nikutan, Robert Tier, presented a 3-year development plan to Ambassador Mohammed for assistance. According to Governor Tier, the borough is challenged and lack logistic in the collection of disposal of garbage.
Ambassador, will there be a program, the development, 3-year development for the borough total? When I told them last year, December is 14 and 13. I called sons and daughters of the borough total, and I asked them, how can we run the borough? Because we know as your plan, we cannot run the borough. So they came in here, the town, and we had a meeting. And they gave a 3-year development plan. So by the grace of God, on the 25th of this month, by 10 o'clock, we all be assembled here. We will be invited. We come back here on the 25th to visit the Borough for a second time. Madam President, on behalf of the people of Borough in my own name, there are no country or no safety improved in the Asia plan, the government plan. I'm humble, I'm pleased to present the 3-year development plan that include sanitation, education, the digital building that will include the government office, all the legislation vacancy will be constructed as a plan, as a project for the good. We want to present to you the development plan for a good job and 3-year development plan so that for the development of a good job. Again, I want to say it all. I grew up in a great country that we developed the borough, helping the great people. And so, but that is your home, the borough is your home. As I give a name, faculty, in my own way, the borough, remember the borough, it helped the undertaking. And I imagine since 108 years, and my people are saying that we be having God, but we do our best. God be our helper. As you are aware, you cover the sanitation. Wherever it is, every area, we don't enter homes who have been displaced. And so, by the grace of God, we are trying to get to other partners, international partners, local partners, ambassadors, to help the borough. I think I wrote you the last time to send a letter to Nigeria, to pay a visit to Nigeria, to deal with other governors, other state governors. We talk about God, we talk about state. See that we are seeing the town. Are we happy? The condition that we're in are not happy. I want to pay a visit to Nigeria, to meet with other governors, so that they will tell me what to see how we make Nigeria, how they are making progress, how they are improving. While our moral state will be the same. Being made a connection, so our child, that I can convince president, who are they convinced? All I need for the people to go to town to stay with me and support the process, because I am against do it.
He's the governor of the Borough of Nikutan, Robert Tier, presenting a 3-year development plan to Ambassador Mohammed for assistance. Earlier on, you heard the voice of Nigerian ambassador accredited near Monrovia, Madam Rabat Mohammed. Indeed, if you're just joining us, it's a reminder that you are in tune to King's News Broom, 45 minutes of the most compelling news from Liberia and other parts of the world. Story stopping the news program this morning ahead of Chief Justice signing your departure. Cycle courts across the country have ended legal business for February terms of court to reopens on May 12, 2025, consistent with Chapter 3, Section 3.8 of the Judiciary Laws of Liberia. Former Vice President Joel Howard Taylor Blas Bwakakun administration says she has been deprived of benefit as a former vice president. Ministry of Transport, in collaboration with the Liberia National Police and the Liberia Revenue Authority, to enforce registration and insurance compliance inspection exercise in Monrovia and its environment. South African Communist Party (SACP) criticizes Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's state visit to South Africa. We are taking another break. To return, with more development on the news program. Thanks so much for rejoining us. Today's development, the Alternative National Congress is expected to host its first homecoming day since the 2023 presidential and legislative election. The grand homecoming date for ANC members will be held in Monrovia on Tuesday. A spokesman of the ANC, Desmond Nimlin, disclosed the gathering is intended to bring the largest gathering of partisans together since the end of the 2023 presidential and legislative election in Liberia.
As you may be aware, the ANC went through an election process in 2023 and got defeated there. During that process, after the elections, we have not had any engagement politically with our partisans. And so, as part of our reawakening process, we decided to hold a homecoming program for one of our own, Representative Tar Wangwe. As you may be aware, Representative Tar Wangwe used to be with the ANC, but because of some issues, he went solo and he came back, decided to come back now with the party to get fully re-engaged. And so we're using this time now to welcome all of our partisans who were on political leave. And the program will be held on Tuesday at 1 o'clock p.m. at the national headquarters of the party on the old road on VP Road. And so we want to call on all our partisans, using this opportunity to call on all of our partisans who are near to grace this occasion, and let's start the reawakening of our party's activities going towards the 2029 elections. There will be political speeches made, there will be meet and greet, there will be games played at the party headquarters. People have to spice it up with some social activities as well to make our partisans lively. This is the first activity since we lost election. We are holding at the party headquarters. This is the first activity since we lost election. And so, though it is not a political rally per se, but we're just encouraging our partisans to come around to, welcome back our partisans who were on solo. This is how it's going to be like. It will be characterized by political speeches, games will be played, people will have meet and greet, at the party headquarters on Tuesday. We are calling on all our supporters. We understand that the election didn't go our way during the last election, but all is not lost. Let's remain focused. Let's embrace ourselves. Let's work together. Let's unite and make our party vibrant. Get re-engaged with ordinary Liberians, with other Liberians, so that we can take on state power in 2029 to better our country, to make our country better. Look, Liberia deserves better. So we need to come together, rally the support, make Mr. Alexander Bennett Cummings the president of Liberia come 2029, so that our country will shine and get better again.
That's the voice of Desmond Nimlin, a spokesman of the Alternative National Congress, ANC. The government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Justice, is expected to launch anti-mob justice campaign across the country on April 8. The campaign is aimed to curtail numbers of mob violence and to ensure that citizens' lives lives in peace and harmony. At the same time, the Ministry of Information Deputy Information Minister disclosed that the Ministry of Lands, Mines and Energy had commenced verification of licenses to mining companies to avoid illicit mining in the country.
The Ministry of Mines and Energy shut down illegal mining operations in a place called Madhouse, Electoral District Number 1, Grand Bassa County. This happened last week. This entity was owned by a foreigner, and they were involved into illegal mining activities. All contraband materials of the company, which is named Hong Tu Mining Company, all those things that were used to perpetuate the illicit mining acts have been confiscated by the Ministry of Mines and Energy. They have also shut down the operations of that company. The Ministry of Mines and Energy has begun the verification of mining licenses across the country. They've also embarked on a crackdown of illicit mining activities. The action commenced. It entails spot verification of all mining and exploration licenses. Those who are holding these licenses, the ministry want to ascertain whether you are involved with what you are permitted to do. We are told that there are instances where people go to apply for Class C license and they get involved with Class A mining activities. That is wrong on our laws. And so the Ministry of Mines and Energy has initiated this effort to crack down on all illicit mining activities happening across the country. It is important that we do so because the mining sector is a very strategic sector.
That's the voice of Deputy Information Minister for Public Affairs, Daniel Sandel. Well, on that note, this is how we like to draw the curtains on this early morning edition of King's News Broom. But before we take a leave of you, here's stories we closely carried. Ahead of Justice Sianen Year departure, cycle courts across the country have ended legal business for February terms of court to reopen on May 12, 2025, consistent with Chapter 3, Section 3.8 of the Judiciary Law of Liberia. Former Vice President Joel Howard Taylor Blas Bwaka Kun administration says she has been deprived of a benefit as a former Vice President. Ministry of Transport, in collaboration with the Liberia National Police and the Liberia Revenue Authority, to enforce registration and insurance compliance inspection exercise in Monrovia and its environment. And away from Liberia, South African Communist Party SACP criticizes Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky's state visit to South Africa. Well, many thanks to all of our reporters, contributors, and correspondents who help in making this morning edition of King's News Broom a success. But before we take a leave of you, let's acknowledge Radio Butod in Butod Sano County relay this news presentation. On behalf of the entire news team here at Royal Multimedia Business Group, my name is Otis Sankan, a presenter. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Good morning.